Day 134. I'm going back to the music well tonight. This is a song, I believe it's been a Christian song for a long time. I'm sure there's been multiple renditions of it, but I'm going to reference this fella again, Forrest Frank, that makes a lot of his own original Christian music, and then he revitalizes and brings to life like older hymns because he'll put a new spin on it and create a few additional verses, but then also keep like the structure of the old part of the hymn. It's really neat how he kind of revamps some of these old hymns. And I love old hymns. I love new school Christian music. I love it all. But I really appreciate the twist that this fella Forrest Frank puts on some of these songs. So there's a song that I was really more so only familiar with this newer version, but it's called Fly Away. And there's a lot of elements of the song Fly Away that I love, but I'm going to focus on this one excerpt for this video today. It says, "I know life sometimes don't work out how you want it to, and them things you thought you left behind are standing right in front of you." I'll say that one more time. I know life sometimes don't work out how you want it to, and them things you thought you left behind are standing right in front of you. So the quote that I have, non-musically related, that coincides with this kind of music verse here, is, "You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it." Man, I think those quotes are related because, again, in that verse, I can very much relate in my life to that last line where the things you thought that you left behind in life, sometimes they rear their head again and they are staring right at you once more. And it can be really frustrating as a human, and it can remind you of your mortality. It can remind you that you are not God. And my mind goes, the first quote, biblical quote that comes to my mind when I think about these things of like, man, I am so small and I am so imperfect and I'm so human, is back to where it says in the Bible that like God's power is made perfect in our weakness. And there's some peace there. But before my mind even jumps to that like positive, like biblical truth, sometimes my human reaction when I see these things in life staring right in front of me that I thought that I was past, I get real frustrated. And I've been open about these things that I do my best to fend off. And in a lot of ways, there's been a lot of progress, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And I keep leaning on Jesus. But there are earthly things that I am so far from perfect in. And a lot of those things are things such as anxiety, or there's probably some depression at times mixed in there, a little bit of like compulsive behavior, obsessive compulsive stuff. And again, it's so much more manageable, and I'm in a good spot, working hard, again, just to be consistent, to have good habits, to have good routines, and to channel my addictive personality for positive things. All that's true and all that's real and happening in my life. It's cool. But there are days, and even some recent days, where I can relate to this quote. I can relate to the verse and the quote, man. It's like, I know life sometimes don't work out how you want it to, and them things you thought you left behind are standing right in front of you. What are you going to do about it because life can tend to be cyclical, when those things that you really thought you left behind are standing at your doorstep again? And it's like, man, you didn't waste, but you exerted all this energy to fend this off, and I finally made it, and I finally got to a good spot, and I just feel like I'm back to square one. I don't know what that is for you in your life. It might be an addiction. It might be a mindset, whatever it is. Just remember that you might have to fight that battle more than once to officially overcome it. And I can just say, as I tie this first section of this video together, is I can just say that there's no way that I would be able to not only have the energy, but there's also no way that I would be able to like overcome any of this if I didn't lean on God throughout the process. I have to lean on God, man. Because my human mind, if I were to get back to square one with these mindsets or these addictions or whatever it is that's staring right in front of me again, I would falter out. There's no way that I'd be able to sustain continuing to try to fight the good fight if I didn't have truly faith in God and a true model which is Jesus, where I can strive every day to be like him. You may have to fight a battle more than once, man, if you're going to win it. Be willing to do that, because you're willing, like I said in that Rocky video, if you get knocked down 7 times, you are willing to stand up 8 with a smile on your face. That's living different. That's living with conviction. That's living with purpose. And that's living without fear, which takes me to the Bible scripture today in Psalms chapter 112. We're going to read verses 6 through 8. Again, in Psalms 112, 6 through 8, it says, "Surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. They will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. Their hearts are secure. They will have no fear. In the end, they will look in triumph on their foes." Like, that's someone writing that there that is convicted, secure, trusting, joyful. And again, we're human, and it's so easy for us. It's so easy for us to think, like, how can we even have all these positive emotions when there's all this pain and fear and regret and all this shame and everything that lives in our life? But if you are convicted and living for God, you're able to achieve this. You're able to achieve living joyfully, even amidst the human side of us that's pulling us towards fear or depression or anxiety. You're able to live for Jesus, even amidst the bad news that you might be getting, because our hearts are steadfast and we're trusting in the Lord. Like, those verses, that's encouragement, that's real, that's a way that we can model and live our life if we're rooted truly in Jesus. So again, if you're stuck in a pattern of addiction, or you're stuck in a pattern of starting back from square one, and you feel like you've tried 17 times to overcome said thing, but it's just staring right back in front of you again, dust yourself off, lean on God, talk to me if you need it, because I'm here. But you're going to have that spiritual perspective, which is so much more valuable than our earthly perspective. Our earthly perspective that flame will fan out much, much quicker. But the spiritual perspective will help us keep going. That's what these videos are all about. Not only are we keeping going, but we're still going on day 134.